Hey everybody, Nick here, and today we're going to do a little disassembly and maintenance on this little guy right here. There we go. This right here is a Kizer Knives Tangram knife. So this is Kizer's budget brand, and they are using some substantial thread locker here. And this is the Amarillo, depending on how you want to pronounce it. They are using T8 screws all throughout, which I appreciate. And this is a new brand altogether. I mean, and I appreciate the fact that Kizer is being very open about this. That this is their brand, because so often these Chinese companies will drop 15 different sub brands and not tell. Holy crap! You want to put some more oil on that there, Kizer. Anyways, they will put 15 different kinds of brands out there. That is, and that's just not something that I appreciate. So at least here we know it's by Kizer, and in this case, it's helpful, it's informative, because I learned, okay, well, I can probably trust this a little bit more than your random King Stedimon, Chinesey thing. This is a Kizer Chinesey thing. Why am I using Chinesey as a negative adjective there? That's not fair of me at all. I shouldn't do that. Hey, sorry about that. That was well, unfortunately, that was a tow truck driver. Yeah, lost my longtime car today. It's just to the point where he's old enough that it doesn't make any sense to repair the many things that are wrong with him. So I just chose, considering that the Blue Book value was basically nada, I just chose to do a charitable donation for it. It sucks, but that's life, I guess. It's been my car for a long time. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to start crying if I go any further down that road. So we're going to talk about, instead, the Kizer Amarillo, and the fact that this is a knife that I appreciate Kizer doing on their own and making very clear that this is their budget line. So, in terms of construction here, it's a relatively straightforward piece. What we're seeing here is a liner lock. We're seeing a steel liner with an integrated bearing race. We're seeing phosphor-bronze bearings. No, that's not a thing. We are seeing bearings in some kind of a metallic cage that look actually very similar from some of the ones that we see from Kizer's mainline, which is good. Actually just finished disassembling a mainline Kizer, and, honestly, I see a lot of similarities here. And you know what? The action is solid. There's a lot to love about this little guy. I'm cautiously optimistic. They sent me 4 of these knives. Not this particular model, but 4 different models from the Tangram line. And by God, they seem to be doing decent work here. In full disclosure, this was sent to me by the maker. I'm trying not to let that affect my opinion. But I am always really happy to see cheap knives coming from the more good mid-range to cheap knives. And by cheap, I'm meaning in that, $20 to $30 range where you can get a knife that's worth a damn. To me, that's great, because so often on my channel, I spend time on these really expensive halo pieces for these companies, and that's fun for me, and hopefully fun for some folks, but at the end of the day, a lot of freaking people can't afford them, and that's completely rational. There are many people in the world with lots and lots of priorities that are not $500 knives, or $6,000 watches, etc. And so I love being able to recommend nice knives at a budget price, and I'm hoping, and mind you, I haven't carried yet, the review is coming, but I'm hoping that these will prove to be another good budget option, because we need more good budget options. There are not enough great knives out there being made inexpensively, and especially seeing some of the bigger brands completely abdicating their role in the budget domain. I'm hoping that Kizer and the like can step up, and if Kizer can get their quality control down with it, and I'm hopeful that they will, that we will have another great option to send people to for something that is worth a damn, but within most people's reach. And especially the other thing to remember is that these may be a good option, and I don't know what Kizer's pricing on the Tangrams like overseas. And by the way, look at some skeletonization going on here in the handle on this side to reduce the weight, and that's always nice. And I'm reassembling with 10-weight nano oil here. So that's and feel free to look at my knife disassembly toolkit video. But anyways, I'm really hoping that this offers another pretty compelling option for people. The source of my pain right now, though, is that this pivot rotated slightly. And as you can see here, this pivot's got a D shape to it. And it needs to go into the properly aligned D shape on the other side here. And so when I put the blade back into position there, it rotated the pivot, and as a result went out of whack there. Not a big deal, but it was a deal, and yeah, needed to fix that. Right now I'm having trouble seating these two screws in the back here, but that's because the knife is under full tension. When I put the liner lock down a little bit, that will ease that tension and soothe its wariness and whatnot, and make it a little bit easier to pop back into position here. I'm currently fighting the backlock spring, so I'm not backlock, the lock bar spring, so that's what's going on there. Why I'm trying to keep this guy pinned to the floor, it's not trying to escape, but yeah. So anyways, I am cautiously optimistic that this will turn out to be, upon further carry and consideration, worth a damn. And perhaps even better than that. But because we just need as much as we can on the low end. That's a service. That's a weird thing to say, a company providing a service. But it kind of is. You know, providing something for people who like quality tools cheaply is great. And it's something that so few people do well. And so if Kizer can help with that, then that's stellar. But if they're making pieces of crap, then that's no good either. Because the last thing we need is more cheap crap. We're getting plenty of that, thank you very much. That and expensive crap. So, you know, little of each, little of each. There we go. And we pop the pivot back in place. I'm using a little bit of a blue thread locker here, just to keep everything in line and at the proper tension, once I get the pivot tension dialed in. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, right now I need to tighten this pivot down a little bit because I'm getting side-to-side blade play. So let's tighten the pivot a little bit. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Sorry, I thought I felt something move for a second there, but it might have just been the scale settling into place or something. Beautiful. Working great. Centering is pretty much dead on. Nice and thinnish behind the edge. Yeah, it works. All right, we're good to go. This Amarillo is absolutely all freaking set. Alrighty, anyways, hope this has been interesting to you, and sorry about the interruption there, and hope that this brought you some joy and that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of the day. Bye now.